Hi guys, welcome to today's video. We are hitting the top dog foods for 2025. So these are all the foods that we have found this year using the pet food scoring system that scored a 7, 8, 9, or 10. And so if that summary is something you have been looking forward to, then we're gonna get started right now. All right, so we're gonna be using the pet food scoring system. If you're not familiar with that, there will be some refreshers in the links at the end of this video that you guys can check out. But for those of you that are new and just came across this video searching for best dog food in 2025, my name is Dr. Amber Ray. I am a small animal general practitioner. I have this channel just to give general basic pet food knowledge to all of the inquiring minds out there. So we are not getting into the deep and dirty and heavy logistics. These are just simple things that you guys can do at home without getting too crazy about it to ensure that your pet has kind of a nice, good, bare bones, safe food. But when we're using that word safe, it's really important to realize that all commercial pet foods that are on the market that are, at least here in the States, have that AAFCO seal of approval are all healthy and safe and balanced. There are no foods, even ones that score lower than a 7, 8, 9, or 10, that are going to kill your pet. It's all very much an individual basis. So I'm coming from a general population type thing to do. Obviously, with my personal patients, I go into deeper details, and I may even select a food that's not a 7, 8, or 9 or 10 for the general population, but is more appropriate for them. So always take all this information that I'm giving you, go back to your veterinarian, and formulate a plan that is best for you. And so with that said, without further ado, let's get in, and I'm going to pull up my notes here for the 2025 top pet foods or top dog foods that we found this year on Animaldocrea. All right, so starting at the top, one of the first ones we did and found, and again, a lot of these foods, we've done these mega reviews where there's we review an entire line and there may be 12 or 13 bags of food, but only 1 or 2 make the cut. So you'll see a lot of that as we go through. One of the first ones that is gonna be the case is Diamond Naturals Adult. Out of all the foods that they had to offer us, we found 2 that scored a 7 out of 10, and so that was the adult dog beef and the small dog lamb and rice. Now they did get deductions on there because the minerals were too high, and they did get deduction because the food was formulated. And so if you're not familiar with what that means, please go ahead and check out how we score foods. But we did have some minor deductions there, and so we did get a 7 out of 10. Not a bad score. You'll see as we go through, there may be a few that are higher, but if this is a brand that you really like, this may be an option for you. Now, what's the difference between an adult dog and a small dog formula? There's not much, so you can go ahead and check out that chart. It is available in my website for download if you want to do that, animaldocrea.com. You can also watch the full video, and you can see what the thumbnail looks like there, and these are all going to be in my 7 plus playlist, so you can navigate there and find all these videos. So this one's 7 out of 10. I believe Diamond Naturals is a really easy one to find. You can get them a lot at the Tractor Supply stores. You can get them on Chewy for sure, and it's more of a budget brand. So that's the first option that I have for you. The next thing that I did, I got requested to do kind of a triple review, and these were the Purina Pro Plans. They had a couple different diets that we wanted to look at, and they were all very, very, very similar with just some minor nuances and details. So that's kind of a fun video. It was only 15 minutes long, so it's a short one. If you watch it on 2-speed, you can get it done in 7 minutes. But basically, we did the shredded duck, the sensitive skin and stomach, and the shredded salmon. The shredded duck was a 7 out of 10, so didn't score as good as the sensitive skin and stomach, which was 8, and the shredded salmon was also an 8 out of 10. As I go through that video, I kind of pick apart, and I do pick a winner, so you can watch the triple review and see how that stacks up. But one of the important things to realize when we are looking at these foods that are sensitive skin and stomach type things, or maybe even a call out of a protein like a shredded salmon, not really appropriate for a food allergy. So yes, your pet may do well on it if they do just kind of have a sensitive stomach, but if they have a sensitive stomach or a sensitive skin that is actually attributed to an allergy, these diets wouldn't exactly be appropriate for that. And so keep that in mind. But we did have some good options there in the Pro Plan line that you could check out. Now, I did get a lot of requests for holistic, and so we've gone over in this channel that holistic is not really definable in pet food. So you can call your food holistic, and it can have a lot of different meanings. And so I did want to find one that actually did perform, because a lot of these holistic labeled diets have been traditionally underperformers on this channel. So we did want to find one that they did meet the mark. And so we did find that with Halo Holistic, the holistic blends. The minerals were really nice on this. So it scored a 7 out of 10. Had some deductions here and there, but they were not in the minerals this time. And so if you have a pet that you are looking for a holistic brand and you do want that mineral control, this might be one to check out. We do go into a little bit about what some of the call outs are as far as the extended things that don't really bear anything with nutrition. So how is the meat sourced, and is it humane, and things like that. So those are all things to consider, but you always want to pick a brand if you are looking for those secondary factors. It still scores a 7, 8, 9, or 10. And so we did find that for you guys with the Halo Holistic. I did get requested a review for large breed puppy, and I got requested to do another triple review between the Origin large breed puppy, the Pro Plan large breed puppy, and the Science Diet large breed puppy. The important thing to remember with a large breed puppy is more is not better. They need very restricted minerals, very restricted fat, and somewhat restricted poaching, because we do not want excessively fast growth. A lot of people have mentioned to me that maybe a breeder or somebody like that has said, well, just feed adult food. You can't do that, because there are more factors other than just what's on the guaranteed analysis that go into puppy food. So there are different like DHAs and different sodiums and magnesium and iron and things like that that are different for a puppy than there are for an adult. So you never want to take a shortcut and just feed an adult. You want to feed an appropriate large breed puppy. So we took a look at these three, and we did find a really nice option for you guys with the Science Diet large breed puppy. It scored a 9 out of 10. And so that's going to set your puppy up with the appropriate growth, so we don't get growing pains, pain osteitis, brittle bones that may plague you guys, in the future. And so really nice option there. So again, you can check that out, but 9 out of 10, Science Diet large breed puppy. The key is large breed. It needs to say large breed in the AFCO statement. We did a whole review on Fromm, kind of go into a nice little anecdotal story of a client that, had some preconceived notions about this company, and it's an interesting marketing thing. So the first bit of this video, the Fromm video, is about marketing. You want to bypass that if you don't want to learn about some common pet food marketing gimmicks that happen. But the long and the short of it is we went through quite an extensive review of the brand Fromm, but did find out that they did have two contenders, which were actually the Classic Senior and the Senior Gold formula. But the kicker is they were actually best if fed to an adult. So 7 out of 10 if you feed the Classic Senior or the Senior Gold to your adult dog. There is no difference in the AFCO statement, and there is no senior designation, so you won't find that on the AFCO statement. It will just say adult, but you have to pay attention and use the appropriate chart. And so the adults, actually, if you're feeding this adult, actually will perform best if you feed them and you like this brand, the Classic Senior or the Senior Gold. And so 7 out of 10, you can check that out if Fromm is a brand that you fancy. Found another 9 out of 10. I was asked to review the Science Diet Adult. Again, really big, Science really big on matching the nutrients, and so you can almost never go wrong with them. I'm not gonna say never, because there are some that you can go wrong. I believe in this one, the reason why they got a 9 out of 10 is actually the calorie calculations were slightly off, and so you'd have to pay attention with that. Go ahead and watch that full video. It's only 9 minutes. Goes through it quite quickly, because all the data and information is just so easily available on the Science Diet website. You can review these things very quickly. And actually, their foods might be a good one to practice the pet food scoring system, because all that information is there, and very easy to do that with their diets. But 9 out of 10, so a great option with the Science Diet Adult, and it did score a 9. A thing with Science Diet, and I did mention this, I want to mention it before I go further. I had a client that was asking about it. In some of the foods, especially if you're on a prescription by Science Diet, can be very pricey. Email them, go to their website, talk to the customer service, and ask for coupons. Okay, so I know a lot of people have done that, and they do send coupons, and so absolutely do that. If you have a pet that is on a Science Diet food, prescription, not prescription, email the company and get you guys some coupons. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a money saving tip on that one. I know that they send coupons. Just recently, one of our more recent reviews, they wanted customers, or excuse me, you guys out there wanted a review for like a PetSmart brand, and Authority is like the PetSmart brand. Again, it's a really big portfolio. We went through them. I found that we did score anywhere between a 6 to 7 out of 10. The 7 out of 10 winners were the Everyday Adult. I think that was probably my favorite of these. And then the Sensitive Skin, again, Lamb and Rice. Sensitive skin, meaning not for your allergy dogs, but just, maybe their skin's a little sensitive, maybe a little flaky, a little itchy here and there, but nothing major. We're not managing allergies with this. So 7 out of 10, pretty good. You could see there were maybe some that were a little bit higher, but this one is probably more of a budget brand, and it is a little bit more easily available if you frequent or you shop. I believe it was also available online, but I know that this is, I believe, the PetSmart brand. Got asked again, another one. Again, these are huge portfolios. So this was actually an earlier video that I redid with some more updated information. Purina 1 versus Purina Pro Plan. The difference being between the two, and you guys can check it out. The Purina 1 is kind of like the more grocery store brand, the more readily available. The Purina Pro Plans, they're more elevated brand. Some of the Pro Plans even, you can go up and you can get them into a veterinary prescription diet. And so the difference between these two really was the vitamin E. So the higher elevated brand, the Pro Plan, paid more attention to those little ancillary things like vitamin E. But for the budget, if you have to go with just a Purina 1, or you need to get one that's available just in a grocery store, I believe this is available even like at Publix or Kroger or any places like that, Costco. Nothing wrong with a 9 out of 10. So, definitely one to check out. Now, I would say that if you are doing this review, I did mimic an earlier review, and so I wanted to keep them very similar. But if you are going to feed either of those, I would go ahead and call and get a true dry matter basis evaluation. It may change those numbers slightly. I don't think it's going to dip it below a 7, but you can definitely take a deeper look at those, but I think they're going to be two really viable options, and one potentially even a budget option for you guys. I did get quite a few questions about fresh. Fresh is a big thing. A lot of people want fresh. Now, I get accused a lot of only recommending kibble and being a fresh hater, and that is absolutely not the case. I do review what you guys asked me to review, and I can't help that some of the fresh food companies out there really are just about the marketing. They really are just about the marketing and their subscription services, and that's not my fault, and that's not your fault either, but it is your job to be informed about it. And so I did find a couple good options in the fresh food department that I wanted to share with you guys. The first one was a Pup Above. It did get a 7 out of 10 in their chicken version, and yay, the minerals were actually good on this one, which is where a lot of them fall off the wagon. They tend to be all life stages, so that these companies can just make a handful of foods and just sell them to everybody. They're not paying attention or tailoring. But a Pup Above, the chicken one, I think it was called Snuggles, did score a 7 out of 10, so you can check that out. Another one that had some really nice, or actually this is the one that had the Snuggles, the My Perfect Pet, again, another a fresh food option. They had a couple options that were 7 out of 10 all the way up to 9 out of 10. So the chicken and beef was my favorite, so you can check that one out. Or the chicken, which was the Snuggles on this one, I believe was the 7 out of 10. So some good fresh food options there. Now, yeah, they are going to be more pricey. That's the deal. That's the demand. That's the price and demand. That's the economics. It's a fresh food. It costs more to produce. It's kind of the new fad thing, so it is more expensive. So you are going to pay more for these. So if you are on a budget, no, this is not going to probably be the option for you, but definitely check out the video and see what it's about and see how you have to score these. When you're using a moist food, you do need to do some conversions, so definitely check out these two videos and learn how to do that, and check out some good fresh food options. The last one is one of my newest videos that I did, and this was trying to find a budget-friendly option. and even potentially an option for seniors. And so we just recently found out that the brand True has some good options there, budget friendly and very close to what we are looking for seniors, for the general population. Now again, seniors have a lot of specific health issues that need to be really taken very seriously, and so anytime you're picking a diet for a senior, it's probably best to go over that with your veterinarian, maybe just at your annual exam, or if they do specific nutrition consults, that would be awesome, because there may be some specific considerations and not kind of just general advice for you. But 9 out of 10 for the regular adult, and then for seniors might be an option as well. Very budget friendly, extremely economical. I don't know that we've reviewed a food that is much cheaper. Yes, there are some trade-offs as far as ingredients go when you are feeding a cheaper food, and so you can always evaluate foods using my pet food scoring system and evaluate them together. So let's say you see True is a 9 out of 10 and it's a budget option, and that's really important to you, but you're like, I'm not really sure, there's some ingredients in there maybe I don't really agree with, I don't like, or maybe they don't really work with my pet. That's fine. You can pick another food that has the ingredients that you want, but make sure it is a 7, 8, 9, or 10. Don't dip below 7, 8, 9, or 10 just to find the ingredients that you want, because then you're really shortchanging your pet on the nutrition. So that was the 2025 best of, not best of in the universe, but like best of here on our little Animal Doc Ray community. I hope you guys will join that community. You can like and subscribe. You can become a member and get the videos early. You can go over to my website and download a lot of the food tools that I have. You can follow me on Instagram. We're trying to get to 1,000. You can join me on Facebook. Let's see what else. Oh, you can get my workbooks if you want all this information in a really concise workbook where you can work through and learn how to do calculations. Those are on my website as well. And yeah, that was it. It was a good end to 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope 2026 will be awesome for you. And I will see you guys next week on Thursday.